Hello, I'm Melinda Newsfeed, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and stuff they're sharing around the world on Newsfeed today. Is it time to go offline? A US senator says yes, and he wants to change the law to make it happen. Social media questions the allegiances of a US presidential candidate after the second night of Democratic debates. When is a YouTube record not really a record? We'll tell you shortly. And the latest optical illusion, which has internet users scratching their heads. Social media addiction. Is there really such a thing? The World Health Organization hasn't classified it as a disorder, but one US senator believes it's a major problem which requires urgent attention. So much so, he's introduced a bill into the US Senate which could fundamentally change how social media works. Our reporter, Adama Manu, has all the details.
Are you addicted to social media? Not me, you might be thinking. Well, addict or not, everyone in the US could soon face restrictions that change the way they behave online. Republican Senator Josh Hawley has introduced a bill to ban the addictive tricks social media platforms employ to hook users. The Social Media Addiction Reduction Technology Act, conveniently known as SMART, aims to prohibit social media companies from using practices that exploit human psychology or brain psychology, and to require social media companies to take measures to mitigate the risks of internet addiction and psychological exploitation. At 39, Hawley is the youngest member of Senate, and he's been a vocal critic of social media. In May, he penned an opinion piece for USA Today, arguing we all might be better off if Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter vanished. His SMART bill takes aim at what it calls the attention economy. That's the way tech companies compete for our time online. If passed, it would ban infinite scroll and push for natural stopping points for users. It would end autoplay on video and streaming services, as well as stop rewards for engagement except in circumstances like music streaming, and force social media platforms to show users how much time they spend on their platforms and help limit that time.
As we're seeing a convergence of different rewards that you can get through the use of technology, and we're spending more of our time on screen working, playing, creating, fighting, whatever it is, we're actually living through the devices more and more, and then living without them is becoming a real issue.
Tech companies say they're already trying to tackle the worst effects of this on their own. Apple, Facebook, and Instagram all say they've launched apps to monitor screen time, though there are doubts that this is proving effective. Studies have shown tech companies use casino-style techniques to keep users engaged. Some argue the evidence on tech addiction is overblown, and the World Health Organization hasn't diagnosed excessive social media use as a disorder. But if the bill goes through, it could change the way we think about social media in a big way. While it is unlikely to completely vanish as Hawley wishes, some of the proposals might go a long way to help us all have healthier lives, on and offline.
Let's have a look now at some of the other things that caught our eye on social media. Today, August 1st, marks 1 year since the Democratic Republic of Congo declared another Ebola outbreak in the country's northeast. Since then, the disease has killed more than 1,700 people. In a worrying development, a second person has died in a major city, more than 350 kilometres away from the primary infection area, sparking fears the highly contagious disease could rapidly spread. The World Health Organization has called it a global health emergency and said on Twitter the challenges are considerable but not insurmountable. A YouTube star famous for his life hack videos and often dangerous experiments has died in a paragliding accident in the United States. Grant Thompson, known online as the King of Random, turned his curiosity about the world around him into a YouTube empire with more than 11 million subscribers and billions of views. His family posted a tribute to the 38-year-old on Instagram, asking his fans to do a random act of love or kindness in honour of the King of Random. Organisers of the Woodstock 50 have finally been forced to pull the plug on the beleaguered music festival. The three-day event was scheduled for later this month to mark the 50th anniversary of the original Woodstock Festival. But a string of venue problems, financial disputes and legal proceedings left organisers with little choice but to cancel. Well, a food fight has erupted in India. A disgruntled Hindu customer of food delivery service Zomato complained on Twitter that his meal was being delivered by a Muslim. It sparked a bitter reaction online. Some social media users have accused the customer of racism, while others support his stance and are uninstalling the app in protest. Here's Neha Punia with the details.
Indian food delivery service app Zomato is winning the internet after it refused to intervene when a customer demanded that a Hindu delivery boy be assigned to him. This is what the customer tweeted, saying, "I just cancelled an order from Zomato because they allocated a non-Hindu rider for my food. They said they can't change the rider and can't refund my cancellation either." To this, Zomato responded saying food doesn't have a religion, it is a religion. The company's CEO also took to Twitter to say this: "We are proud of the idea of India and the diversity of our esteemed customers and partners. We aren't sorry to lose any business that comes in the way of our values." Now, this very strident response from Zomato led to a lot of outrage among many right-wing groups and communities in India, many of them tweeting with the hashtag boycott Zomato. This user goes on to accuse Zomato of having double standards when it comes to dealing with Muslim and Hindu customers. He says when a Muslim user had a problem with his food not being halal, the company promised to intervene, but when a Hindu user wanted a Hindu delivery boy assigned to his order, they did not give in to his demand. Nupur taking a similar line as well. She's saying, if Zomato is to respect the Muslim faith, it must respect Hindus as well. That is it. But there are many others who sided with Zomato on this very contentious issue. You had Huda, who tweeted saying, "Just ordered on Zomato. I'm a Muslim. This Hindu guy delivered my order at 2 a.m. in the night. This is my India. I love Zomato, and this was just a goodwill order." There are many who've also found the hilarious side of this controversy. Devdutt Patnaik tweeting saying, "I've just overheard that bigots will not use petrol that comes from Muslim countries." And Harsh Mandar tweeting this: "In times when hate and bigotry have become the official ideology, it's rare for corporate India to speak out openly against this. The official response from Zomato gives cheer and hope that there are still many willing to stand for the idea of an India which belongs equally to one and all."
Who is Tulsi Gabbard and where does her allegiance lie? That's the question social media users were asking after the second Democratic candidates debate in the United States. Many political commentators declared her one of the winners of the night. She was the #1 trending search on Google, but with attention comes scrutiny.
Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record.
Hawaii Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard grabbed attention at Wednesday's Democratic debate when she called out Senator Kamala Harris. Tulsi was the most searched candidate on Google, but as people scrutinized the former combat veteran's record, another term began to appear on Twitter's trending list: Assad, with Tulsi's link to the Syrian regime leader coming into the spotlight.
Tulsi Gabbard's attack on Kamala Harris's record looks a bit different when you consider that she went harder on Harris than she has on Assad, who oversees a prison network where more than 120,000 Syrians have been tortured, murdered, and not even returned to their families for burial.
To be clear, Tulsi didn't just go to Syria and push diplomacy, as she likes to say. She toured Aleppo just after Assad had perpetrated war crimes there, and she declared it a victory for peace. She helped Assad whitewash a mass atrocity.
This alone disqualifies Tulsi Gabbard. I hope people watch it and spread it. Shameful defense of Assad. Unwilling to criticize a brutal mass murderer. Well done, Anderson Cooper.
Do you consider him a torturer or a murderer?
That's not what this is about.
Others have called the accusations baseless vilification.
Right after Tulsi announced her campaign, I wrote this column on the smear that she's an apologist for Assad. It's a lie. There's no evidence for it.
Discredited right-wing websites like Breitbart and The Drudge Report put Gabbard at the top of the pack after the debate. And if Tulsi continues to rise in the Democratic race, she's likely to face even more questions about what and who she stands for.
Let's go around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Thursday. If you've always wanted to be a mind reader, this story's for you. Facebook says it's working on a headset which can translate a person's thoughts into text on a computer screen. The tech giant says the headset is in its early stages, but hopes it will one day allow people who are paralysed to communicate. The former boyfriend of a Russian Instagram influencer has confessed to her murder. The video released by prosecutors shows 33-year-old Maxim Gariev admitting that he stabbed Ekaterina Karaglanova at least 5 times in the neck and chest. The body of the 24-year-old lifestyle blogger was found inside a suitcase in her Moscow apartment last week. Gariev told police his ex had repeatedly insulted and humiliated him, and he couldn't stand it. A well-known Lebanese band has been dropped from the lineup of a music festival following threats of violence on social media. The frontman of Mashru Layla is an openly gay man, and religious activists went online to protest about his band's appearance at the upcoming Byblos International Festival. Event organisers caved under the pressure, saying they've cancelled the band to prevent bloodshed and maintain security and stability. 75 million views on YouTube in just one day. That's a record for the platform and certainly something worth cheering about. But Indian rapper Badshah isn't celebrating. He's been denied the record because YouTube says he cheated the system. Take a look and see what you think.
Gonna love you like me.
Well, there's nothing the internet loves more than a good optical illusion. The latest to go viral and get all of us here at Newsfeed scratching our heads are these images. They were shared by UTC economist Lionel Page, who says the pictures are actually black and white. He explains that a series of coloured lines or dots were laid on top of the original images. Apparently, our brains don't like the imperfect information and fills in the gaps. In this case, colours. Interesting. That's all from the Newsfeed team, but be sure to get in touch if you have any questions or comments. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. See you tomorrow.